Welcome back. It's preview Sunday afternoon's Premier League match between Southampton and Swansea City at St Mary's. Pascal, starting with the home side, still flying high and third in the table.
Oh yeah, their last league game was a good win. They went to St James's Park, didn't they? And good 2-1 win. Obviously, Elia with both goals. It's good for him to sort of get amongst the goals early in his Southampton career because he came in, he sort of replaced Mane, who's been in the Africa Cup of Nations. But I think Mane could be back this weekend. Senegal have gone out now, so if Mane's back, then that poses an interesting dilemma for Coman whether he because Mane was playing well, before he left for the tournament. So it'd be interesting to see if he comes back or if he sticks with Elia because of the 2 goals that he scored against Newcastle. But since then they've played in the FA Cup. It was a disappointing result at Palace, wasn't it? Because Southampton, you look now at all the teams that have gone out, and Southampton, they would have fancied themselves maybe to have a real chance in the competition. But losing at home as well to Palace, it was a really fun game, wasn't it? Obviously 3-2, but I think it would be disappointing if they couldn't squeeze through there because Palace, even though they're doing better under Alan Pardew, I think Southampton, they would have fancied themselves in that game. So to go out of the cup there is disappointing, but like you say, still third in the table, doing so well, yeah.
I think for this game, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the midfield as well. I mean, Harrison Reed and James Ward-Prowse, people like this have done very well. I think they're going to be without Wanyama, Schneiderlin and Alderweireld as well for this game. So that will be obviously 3 key players for them who have been so important to SSX this season. They are still sitting in third, but they could be fourth if Manchester United win against Leicester, which we've obviously both expect that to happen. Could be sitting in fourth, and Arsenal, if they get a win as well in the early game on Sunday, breathing right down their neck. Spurs as well get a win. I think Southampton, obviously, to be third at this stage of the season is incredible. Whether they can keep that up, because there is a lot of teams breathing down their neck, and whether they can deal with that pressure is important. And for these type of games where they are expected to win, I think that's where the real struggle comes, where you have to go and win the game. Done that well so far this season, but it will be interesting to see whether they can.
Certainly, obviously, Swansea, sort of in the first couple of months of the season, this is where Swansea were obviously right near the top of the table. They've since dropped down, and obviously their last game in the FA Cup against Blackburn Rovers, that was to go out of the cup against a Championship side is really disappointing because Blackburn, they're a bit out of form themselves in the league. They're a bit unsettled. Their 2 main strikers, Gusted and Rhodes, neither of them started that game because I think both looking for Premier League moves at the moment. But obviously Swansea, they went down to 10 men early on, and then Sigurdsson scored that fantastic goal to put them ahead. But then he got sent off. A rash challenge. Obviously, he was a bit frustrated that they were losing the game. I don't know what he was thinking sliding in like that, but he's now going to miss 3 games for them. We just know how important Sigurdsson is, especially now they've lost Bonnie to City, obviously. So to lose Sigurdsson there, obviously he had another man sent off. So disappointing to go out of the cup, against a Championship side and to get 2 men sent off as well. It was not a good day at the office for them.
Mentioned going out in the cup and the last time out in the league as well, they had an absolute horror against Chelsea. I mean, their home form has been decent. Obviously, it was decent last season, not been too good this season, but to lose 5-0 at home to Chelsea, I know Chelsea are obviously flying high at the top and they've been the best team in the league this season. I think they were 1-0 down inside the first minute, 4-0 down at half time, and obviously as soon as you go 2-0 down, 3-0, certainly the game is over. And I think Fernandes as well came in. He made some horrible mistakes at the back, and it was horrible to watch from Swansea. They're such a good passing team, but when they do go down, it's for Chelsea to just sit back, and it was a horrible game for them to actually lose in that way because there were so many individual mistakes. And Gary Monk's done very well since taking over, but to bounce back off that result is very important because obviously that was terrible.
Definitely, I think they're still at least 10 points clear of the relegation zone. They're not in any trouble at all. They're still 9th in the table, but the Gomez issue is an interesting one, isn't it? Because obviously now Bonnie's left Gomez, he's the main striker, but there's talk that he wants to leave, he's not too happy at the club, which is very interesting because now that Bonnie's gone, you think, right, you're the main man now, why would you not want to stay and try and cement yourself and prove your worth? And if anything, if he stays there for the rest of the season, he can probably increase his value in the summer. If he wants to leave, now he's got a chance to be the main striker and increase his value, but he wants to leave in January by the looks of things, which is very odd. But Swansea, they haven't been too busy if they're in the transfer window. They signed Kyle Norton. I think he might make his debut in this one. It depends if Neil Taylor goes, because Norton, he's come in as a left back. Obviously, we can play right or left back really, but if Neil Taylor, Palace are sort of sniffing around him, so if they can sign him, it looks like Norton will be their number 1 left back. But that's quite interesting because Neil Taylor's always looked solid at left back for Swansea, isn't he? So if they let him go to Palace, that'd be quite an interesting move. I don't think the fans will be too happy with that, especially as he's a Welshman as well. It's good to have your local country players playing for you. So be interested to see if he goes. But yeah, they haven't been too busy so far. Not long left of the transfer window now, so they need to make some signings, I think.
Interesting team selection on both sides. What are you backing? It should be an interesting game.
I think it should be. I think Swansea, they'll give Southampton a good go, but I expect the Saints to win this one. I'm going to go for 3-1 Southampton 3-1. Win.
I think Southampton win as well. I think they'll just edge it though. I think Southampton, like I said, when they're expected to win, that's when the real test comes. So I think they will win. I think it'll be 2-1. So you've both got fairly comfortable wins for Southampton. Thanks for joining us.